Christopher Wray promising not to make the same mistakes that FBI Director James Comey made. Maybe that can start by not going out and leaking to your friends. Senator Lindsey Graham peppered Wray with numerous questions today concerning allegations of collusion by the Trump campaign with Russia. You see, Lindsey Graham has joined the party. Let's take a listen.
As the future FBI director, do you consider this endeavor a witch hunt?
I do not consider Director Mueller to be on a witch hunt.
Yeah, you know what? But it is a witch hunt, right? That's what Alan Dershowitz just said. He made the point that he is a liberal Democrat that did not vote for Donald Trump, but he does not like to see what the Democrats and the mainstream media are trying to do right now, because they are on a witch hunt. Joining me right now, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton and former Assistant Director of the FBI in New York, Bill Gavin. Good to have you both here. Bill, starting with you. I mean, if it, what's the expression? If it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I mean, isn't this, in most people's view, in your view, any sane person that's looking at this with the likes of Tim Kaine out there calling treason, same with Blumenthal, isn't this a witch hunt?
Well, Trish, I think that the next director, and I'm sure he's going to be approved to be the next director, handled it extremely well. He wanted to step away from the concept of calling the overall thing a witch hunt. So he said, and we just heard him say, he doesn't think that Bob's investigation is a witch hunt. He walked away from his idea of the whole thing.
So I mean, politically, he needed to do that. You know, nobody wants anybody's feathers ruffled in all of this, and so he did what he had to do. But what's your reaction there, Tom, to Lindsey Graham setting that questioning, that line of questioning up, so that you could hear him say, no, it's not a witch hunt?
Well, you know, Mr. Wray talks about independence. I'd like to see some independent thinking here. And the establishment approach on Mueller and Trump and Russia collusion is that Mueller ought to be allowed to do his job, and there's no there in terms of conflicts of interest, or whether there should be a special counsel to begin with. And it would be nice to have an FBI director under a Trump administration, especially, who is a reformer and questions these basic premises that to me are just so suspect to being questioned, which is why we have a special counsel, whether the FBI, the new FBI director is going to take on the bureaucracy at the FBI and address the issues that have arisen, certainly under the Obama administration, even prior to that. I wish he was more brave and had more of a reformist attitude, rather than saying, as I quote the old Who song, you know, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. There's going to be nothing new, at least if his testimony is to be concerned, about the way Wray approaches his job at the FBI, from Comey and Mueller. And frankly, I don't think those directorships worked out well in terms of either protecting the American people, preventing waste, fraud, and abuse, or in the case of the Hillary Clinton investigation and now the Trump investigation, politicizing the FBI.
Yeah, no, it certainly has been politicized for sure. Bill, your just overall thoughts on Christopher Wray and whether or not he'll be able to do a decent job. It sounds like Tom's concerned because he thinks it's same old, same old.
Well, I think, Trish, that when you look at what happened today during he showed his personality, he showed his temperament. He also showed, based on his responses to some of the questions, his political acumen. And what's more important, he also showed that he understands both institutions, the Department of Justice with the Attorney General's office and the FBI as well. I think he handled some of the questions well. You know, with Lindsey Graham, you know, somebody threw a handful of ground glass on his Wheaties this morning. But with that said, I mean, the way he handled this was terrific. You didn't see him get upset. You didn't see him get flustered. He answered as much of the questions that he could in the picoseconds he was given to answer the questions. But, you know, he did a great job at doing those kinds of things. And, you know, I think that anybody that looks at him as an individual who's reticent to do anything, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken.
All right, well, it looks like he's going to be the guy. It looks like he will be confirmed. Senator Dianne Feinstein saying today that she would vote him in.